It hurts to write a value-packed email that people don't open. You've put everything you've got into that email. You've made sure it was clear, it was simple, but nobody's opening it. What's the best way to get people to open that email? It's the subject line. The subject line is the key. This episode is all about writing good subject lines so that your emails can get opened. So without any further delay, let's jump right in and get started. Welcome to another episode of the eCreate Biz podcast. I am your host, Caleb Becker, talking about what it's really like to navigate through the challenges of running an online business, how to get your work to serve you and your family without burnout, how to gain the freedom of a well-structured business and develop the daily habits that create this success. Email is number one, the best way to run a business in today's world. It's been that way for a long time, and it's going to continue to be that way for years to come. We know there's so much push out there for social media, and I totally get it. And yes, I think businesses should use social media. But however, to actually make the needle move forward on your business, to actually make an income inside of your business, email is where it all happens. Statistically proven year over year that money is made through email. So, if you run a business, an online business, you need email. If you have a local business, a brick and mortar business, you need email. If you have any kind of fundraising business, even though it's nonprofit, you need email. Because that's how you're going to reach your ideal customers. That's how you're going to reach those who are paying attention, and that's how you're going to be able to serve. So it's extremely important in today's world that we as business owners master the art of email. So let's talk about what the most important part of that email is, and that is the subject line. You should be spending a lot of time thinking about your subject line. Best practice is write your email up. When your email is all written up, then think about how your subject line relates to your email. So the only point of a subject line is just to get the email to get opened. You can have the best content inside of your email, and people just won't open it because of a poor subject line. We got to remember that people are busy. They're busy in their day. They might be involved in something. They might be distracted with something, and all of a sudden your email shows up. And if it's not an impressive enough subject line, they're just not going to open it. It's not enough to stop them in their day to check to see what your email's about. And that's sad because sometimes it can take a long time to write up an email. So yeah, just to me, as far as when I write emails, it's important for me to just keep that in mind, that people are busy and I need to write a subject line that's going to stop them in their day so that at least just pay attention for just a little bit. And that's what I'm looking for. So I can pay attention for just a little bit. Okay, your subject line needs to have the context of what your email is about. Subject lines that have like really poor connection, so the subject line is like not even related to the email, that will have a negative effect, which will cause people to be irritated, upset, and possibly even unsubscribe. You don't want that. So like, for example, a subject line that says, once in a lifetime savings. And you open it up, and inside it's just taking you to a blog. Like, that's totally not relatable, and it would cause me to want to unsubscribe from that type of an email. So it's got to be relatable. Your subject line's got to have context of what your email is about. Okay, another point to consider is that the majority of the people, and I'm talking a major majority of the people, are online with their mobile device. Majority of the people are online with their mobile device, and our subject lines need to reflect that tight space. Which brings me to the next point, which is the mechanics of the subject line. Let's call it the nuts and bolts. The subject line needs to be within a 30-character space. That's all you got, 30 characters. And the reason why is because, again, people are on their mobile device. Your subject line's got to fit within inside that space. When people open up their emails and they're just scrolling through the different emails, they're trying to see which one's relevant to them. When your subject line is all spelled out with inside that 30-character space, then you're able to get the message across as you had intended. Nothing's worse than a really important part of your email just gets cut off just because it runs off of the mobile screen. So 30 characters or less, and that's not a lot of space. Okay, the subject line has got to have a hook. A hook. You got to hook them, which I like to think of a hook as curiosity. It's got to have a curiosity element to it. All right? Just like fishing, fish see the bait and they want to go for that. They want to go for that bait, and there's a hook. And when they're hooked, well, then you pull them up. When there's a hook, we want to share the message with the recipient through a value-packed email. Your subject line needs to use power words. And again, like I said, you only got 30 characters to play with here, but use power words. I'm going to give you some example of some power words. Amazing, jubilant, marvelous, awesome, noble, miraculous, breathtaking, epic. And now let's think of power words that bring up the desire. Okay, so just think again of these words and what it does for you as you're a reader. Allure, captivating, charm, delight, saucy, embrace, heavenly, tempting. You see how those words are? Our minds trigger something that we appreciate. Okay, let's move along. Let's think about words that indicate anger. And you got to be careful with this one. Annoying, pesky, pest, phony, bully, clown, rotten, greedy. Okay, so those are bringing anger. Okay, now let's think of words that use security. Automatic, proven, scientific, certified, studies show, genuine, safety, approved. So those are just some power words. You give them a word that they can relate to, that maybe it even gives them a mental image or even makes them feel a certain way. They're going to be, they're going to be interested in opening your email. I just wanted to pause here for a second to thank you for subscribing to this channel. And I really appreciate your comments. So let's jump back in where we left off. All right. So the other aspect of this, and this is one I feel like is extremely important, and we should never overlook this. Your email is written to another human being. Your subject line is trying to get another human to open this. It's a human with a real life and real feelings, and they've got real challenges. So write your subject line, write your email as though you're writing to one person and you're writing to your friend. Okay? That brings in so much respect to those you're writing to. Write it to one person and as you're writing to a friend. All right? So for an example, an email that says, "Hey, everyone," that's not writing to one friend. That's writing to a big group. But if you could say, "Hi, friend, how are you?" Or you can say, "Hi, first name, how are you?" But the subject line, again, it's there to write to that one person. Okay, we always work at stuff and we get better as we go along, right? So just like playing soccer or playing basketball or playing football or ping pong or learning how to swim, as you keep doing it, you get better and you get better and you get better. Well, the same is true for emails. Same is true for open rates. To get open rates to get better over time, it just means you got to keep doing them over and over and over again. Keep learning what's working, what's not working, and keep adjusting. So it's one of those things where you just got to jump in, you got to get started, you got to be able to write some really poor open rated emails. I'm sorry, but that's just how it works. And then you learn to get better over time. Okay. And another part is, I think is something we should consider is understand that people are busy. Okay. They're busy. And it may not be right for them. Your email just might not be right for them. Maybe they're in the middle of some family tragedy, or maybe they just lost their home, or maybe somebody just passed away, or whatever the case is. Maybe something's going on with their children. Maybe they're sick. It's probably just not the right time. Okay. So I like to encourage you and myself when I write an email to disconnect myself out from that email, that I don't deserve to have it opened just because I wrote it. I'm not here pounding on their door just as the open hand. Here's an email for you. If the time's right, there's value right here inside of this email. If the time's right, click on it. If it's the right time, I've got something inside that will give you a next step that's going to give you even more value. And that's, if you can just kind of just realize that that's how you're offering your emails. Nobody has to open it. It's a privilege. It's a real privilege that somebody has actually opened your email. So I think, to me, that's kind of just a rule of thumb to just realize that I'm offering this as an open hand. Here you go. If it's the right time, this is for you. So just to recap again of what I've been talking about, and that the point of the subject line is simply to get the email to get open. Understand the subject line mechanics, 30 characters or less, using these power words, and also keeping it human, keeping it that as though you're talking to your friend. You don't want to offend your friend, and you want to respect your friend. Your email needs to do the same thing. So writing good subject lines, over time, you'll get better at it, and you'll learn to understand your audience better. You'll learn what they're opening. You'll learn what they appreciate. And as you do that, you're going to make sure your emails are bringing them value. Don't write an email that has no value to it. Make sure it brings them value. Because when you do that and you show up consistently, then your audience is going to consistently continue to love opening your emails. They're going to realize that your emails are worth opening. And when you've got that kind of respect from them, I'm going to tell you, my friend, that's worth more than gold. All right, my friend, that's all I have today. I just want to encourage you to get out there and to write powerful subject lines. You can do this, and you'll be amazed at the results you get as you see improvements. That's it. I'll see you in the next one. So I got a question for you. How is it going inside of your business? What is the outlook for the next 6 months? Can you see light at the end of the tunnel? Or are you coming up against roadblock after roadblock after roadblock that seems like there's no end in sight? Well, I've got good news for you. Today, you're tuning in, you're listening in, and I appreciate you so much. And I know what it's like to be in your shoes because I am in your shoes. I am doing the same thing you're doing. Creating a business is not easy. And I'm right there with you, and I have this guide that I know will help you out. It's called the Fast Profitable Online Business Guide. It's straightforward, it's simple, and it covers the 3 building blocks of an online business. What should you be focusing on? What's going to make the biggest difference? How to position yourself? What kind of strategies should you be using? And it also has some of the most common mistakes that business owners make and how you can avoid them. Now, like I said, you've tuned in, you're listening in, I appreciate you so much, and I want you to grab that guide for free today. All you got to do is go down below this episode, there's a link, or you can go ahead and just go to ecreatebiz.com/guide. That's GUIDE, and you just simply grab your guide there. That's ecreatebiz.com/guide, GUIDE, or just click the link below this episode. You've got nothing to lose. It's there for you. Again, I appreciate you so much for tuning in and listening today.